What's going on, guys? It's your boy DC from DL Collections. We are back here with another unboxing of another statue. Now, fun fact, I was actually going to cancel the statue probably 100 times over. I got to a weird point in my statue collecting career when I was kind of like, this really isn't the piece for me, and do I really need it, and do I really like the character that much? And the truth is, I've always liked this character. Now, she's not the character originally that I liked. It was the character she turned into, and that is Jean Grey. Now, I didn't really like her as much as the nerdy, telepath that she was. I really liked Phoenix. I loved, Phoenix Force and Dark Phoenix and all of that. And that was really what drew me to her. There was quite a few pieces that I was really interested in. Never got any of them. When I first started collecting, there was the XM Phoenix, which was already produced and out. And that, I think, was the nicest Phoenix I've ever seen. I always tell you guys all the time, I'm done with Sideshow. I'm not buying any more from Sideshow. Well, Sideshow has been getting me suckered in left and right. And on the basis that they've been really stepping up their statue game. And I feel like my voice meant absolutely nothing to them, but I want to believe that it did. But regardless of all of that, so far, the way that I'm going to start doing these unboxings are basically, I'm going to go ahead and pull it apart and dissect it before I actually show you guys. And the reason why I want to do this is because I want to try to shorten these videos up a little bit. Obviously, I talk a lot, but I am going to make this work a little bit. And yeah, let's get into the unboxing. Here we go. Jean Grey, Phoenix, all in one. Let's do this. All right, guys. So first we have an extremely heavy base. It says Phoenix and Jean Grey Marquette. Number 430 of 1,000 with a little logo on the bottom. This piece is really heavy, and it goes without saying that it probably should be as heavy as it is because of the amount of stuff that's going on it. Now, first and foremost, you can see all the fire throughout it. The back is really what I wanted to show you guys because the front has got something really cool as well. But the back is actually the backbone right here of the Phoenix. It's going to come up to the front. Now, there's a couple Easter eggs in here. And I didn't realize how much I have to move the camera back in order for you to see everything. But this is really cool, and I like what they did with the fire effect. Now, another Easter egg, obviously they have the two I-beams that are right here. They're split as a big X, so, Easter egg, X-Men, yay. But what's really crazy is if you look right here, this bottom part is actually the Phoenix's legs, and it's built into the fire, which I really like. And I gotta tell you, this hollowy crystal effect that they have going on with the fire is really awesome. I like it. It's not too much. It's not too little. It's like the right amount of awesome. But we got a lot more to do. So I got to move the camera. Let's keep going. All right, so I've resituated us a little bit. I still don't think it's enough room because of how big this piece actually is. The best thing about it so far, from what I can see, is that there's not a bunch of pieces and attachments and things like that. And it's really not a rocket science piece put together. In this case, what I really liked about it, and what sold me to this piece, is the simple fact that you're getting both characters in one. So maybe not so much that I have to explain to everybody who Jean Grey is or who Phoenix is, but a lot of people that come into my Dave Cave and see a lot of the pieces I have, they don't really know a lot of the characters that I like, although you can see some on the sidelines that a lot of you are familiar with. But this particular setup is really cool because explaining Phoenix and Jean Grey all in one. And that's what I really liked it. Now, although I find a lot of awesome parts about this, there's also a couple things that I don't like about it, but really nothing for me to bitch and moan about. Stupid, subtle things that I always complain about. I'm not going to this time, but I will point out, I don't really like the melted metal. It looks a little tacky and it looks like they just melted some wax on it. But other than that, so far so good. Now again, I don't always expect the same detail that you get from XM or Queen Studios with Sideshow, but I do think Sideshow's stepping it up a notch, and I really appreciate what they have going on over here. So with that being said, we are going to start with the Phoenix's body. So I'll give you guys a close-up. They made her ripped, cut up, really cool. Her back, everything has a little bit of shadowing to it from the flames. The top of her torso, they put the contours of her body with the suit really well. I think they did a really good job on this. And they also have two arms that get attached as well. Simple, nothing too dramatic. Oop, I'm putting them in the wrong way. Whoa, when that slides on really good. I will say this about Sideshow, that whenever you buy a statue from Sideshow, everything snaps on almost flawlessly. Literally. I mean, that is the one thing I think they should always take pride on, it is the assembly of their pieces are awesome. So just to give you kind of like an idea of what we're looking at right here, this came out badass. I mean, they really got this built pretty freaking cool. And that's going to simply just slide on right up here. Now, there is another part of this, and it's actually the Phoenix itself, which kind of reminds me of Godzilla, Burning Godzilla, but this is the Phoenix itself. It goes right on the top of the statue. If you're familiar with any of these, comics or what have you, you'll see a little bit better of this. And I think this is the second method that they have in the statue. And I've been seeing it a lot, especially from Queen Studios with their busts. I think it's one of the biggest flaws. We'll get into that Phoenix head in just a second. The next part is she's got her little tassel right here, which should go right in, just like that. So, really simple build. There's not too much rocket science behind this. Let me slide this up because it definitely looks a little wobbly. Okay. The next part would be Jean Grey herself. So, Jean's body, it's the full body of her. What I like about this, and I did notice it, is that it seems as if they took the contour of the body here and they mimicked it very similar here. The only difference is the Phoenix has a little more abdominal muscle, whereas the Jean Grey does not. But they did break it down pretty cool. The full Jean Grey. And it's kind of like the way she looks like in the cartoon in a way. That is going to sit right here. Now, for me, I don't really bitch and moan about seam lines, but I do bitch and moan about how things sit. And it doesn't sit really 100%. It could be better. It could be worse. It could be better. Now, this piece for me, again, it was kind of like I wanted myself a Jean Grey, but I didn't really want a Jean Grey because I'm not a Jean Grey fan. I'm a Phoenix fan. I saw this pop up on Sideshow probably about a year ago. And what drew me to it was, again, I got two characters for the price of one, which I thought was really cool about it, and that was really my favorite part about it. I also like the fact there's no mixed media in this. Now, some people love mixed media, some people like the capes and the shirts that are from fabric. I don't like that. I think they get dusty and cluttered and gross. And if you saw my Boba Fett video last week, you would know it looks really cool with that. Here you go, Jean's face, and I gotta tell you, it's a little bit different from the cartoon, but man, she looks good. Little hottie, look at her go. What I really like, though, is her hair. I think they did a phenomenal job on the hair. And if you are familiar with the cartoon, you knew that she had this ravagant hair. And, they really just made it way better than the cartoon, obviously. But now that I'm seeing the way this goes on, we're going to have to pull these two arms down. We're going to have to put her head on first. So when I was looking at this on the original site, I kind of was trying to figure out where they were going with this and how it would look in person, and they exceeded my expectations. Again, Sideshow. If any of you ever watch this, I sometimes break your chops about stuff because I did stop buying from you guys for a while. But it's that when you do things like this, I'm like, wow, great job, guys. Let's keep it moving. The next part, of course, is the Phoenix head herself. Now, this is cool. I love this head. I love how it's energizing, kind of like Goku in a way, where her, the power of the Phoenix is shooting up and around her. I think this is really cool. And this is one of those things that's important because the attention to detail in this was so big, and just having it show the power of the Phoenix rushing through her hair and shooting it up in the sky is really freaking cool, and it fits in there like a glove. Now, what's really awesome, guys, is this is the story. The story is Jean Grey, the blast of gamma radiation, whatever. I don't know if it's gamma radiation. I don't care, but I just remember it very vaguely from the cartoon. So the spirit of the Phoenix rushes through the spaceship, and it goes into her, and here you go. She turns from Jean Grey into the Phoenix. Now, the best part of this are these two massive wings, okay? So we got one wing that goes over here like this. Whoa. And then we have another one that goes in like this. And there you have it, guys. This is awesome. I mean, it really did come out to be a much nicer piece than anticipated. I did have one little break on it, not the end of the world, but a small tip at the top of the wing broke. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a closer look up. Let's get into the close-up. All right, guys, so here's a much bigger close-up of the actual statue. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the turnstile so you can see what's going on. Now, here's where I get a little upset because they kind of copied a little bit of what Queen Studios does, but it's right around the back of this. Look at how awesome this Phoenix is. I mean, this Phoenix looks crazy. He kind of looks like he's like the Hulk of Phoenixes, but this is really awesome. And, you know, again, I'll say it 100 times so I'm blue in the face. I don't let seam lines bother me because I know what it takes to make these statues. Now, there is a nasty seam line right down here. There's a big one right around the neck and another one by the other wing. But I don't let those bother me because I think what they did, which is really cool, is they made it almost look like those seam lines are part of the statue, like they did down here and a couple areas around the sides. So it blends in with the statue incredibly, but this Phoenix in the back is so badass. I wish that the head was turned the other way and they made it a little bit different like that. But I gotta tell you, it's not enough for me to sign it out and say that was a bad idea. It really does look awesome. But what I want to show you guys also is this. Now, you got to remember, if you're familiar with the cartoon, the comic books, or anything, Jean Grey is the Phoenix. What's really cool about this is obviously her mind is being taken over by the Phoenix, but look at what he did with the fire and how it bends her legs in. I showed you guys that earlier. This looks really cool, and it's a very clean transition into her. Now, there are some paint issues, and I can see some spraying issues on the left leg, but I'm not going to bitch about it, because it's not bad enough for me to be really upset with it, but it's definitely noted, and I will never bring it up because no one's ever going to do anything to fix it. But here you have it, and honestly, this is cool. And I say it all the time because I got to be honest with you, with the exception of maybe 2 or 3 statues that I've gotten, I've only given reviews of statues that didn't like the 2 of them, and I've sold 1 out of the 2. So for the most part, yeah, I mean, this is awesome. I didn't think it was going to be this cool. And I almost canceled this numerous times. I literally almost canceled this statue probably like 6 or 7 times because I thought it was never going to come out #1. And I just thought it was stupid. But now that I have it in person, I am extraordinarily pleased with it. And I'm really happy to add to the collection. I don't know actually where I'm going to fit it because do I have a tape measure in here? No, I don't. It's a lot bigger than I anticipated it. And the place it was going to go, it's certainly not going to fit. But it is beautiful. It really does pack a punch for statues, and for the price of it, totally worth it. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Feel free to comment below. Tell me what you think about this, and tell me what you think about this Jean Grey setup and all of its glory, because I got to tell you, it's definitely worth every penny, and I'm definitely happy I got in the collection. I'll see you guys on the next build. This was your DL collection. Oh, I don't want to start it over, but yeah.